The Death Knight is an amazing class in Cataclysm, and today I'll be going through the different talent trees for all the different specializations, new spells and changes to the class, and the different glyphs and stats I prioritize to get. So what specialization should you choose? Well, when you're leveling up, there's going to be 3 different options: Unholy and Frost for DPS, and Blood for tanking. Even though Blood is mainly for tanking, then it's also so powerful for leveling up in the open world, as you'll do a high amount of damage and also have a high amount of survivability. So let's cover the Blood talent tree first. This is how it looks like at level 85, but you can also use it as you're leveling up. If so, then the talent order will be like this. At least this is how I prioritize to get the different talents as I'm leveling up. And the 9 glyphs I will be using will be these. You could be swapping the different prime glyphs. I just prefer to get these as they will boost my damage and therefore also my threat. For those of you that would like to level up as another 2-hand specialization, you could choose Unholy. Here you will do more damage with your diseases and pets. Yeah, you will even get yet another pet, a gargoyle, that will do a huge amount of burst damage when you summon this. I like to do Cataclysm Heroics as Unholy, mainly because the damage will be steady all the time, but also because I've unlocked the spell Anti-Magic Zone. So if there's going to be a lot of spell damage taken by the party, then I can summon the Anti-Magic Zone and help the party. And this is going to be so useful when you're going to step into your first heroics. So what about the other DPS specialization, Frost? Well, as Frost you can either play with a 2-hand weapon or 2 1-hand weapons. When I play with a 2-hand weapon, I use this build. The benefit is that you won't be missing as often, and when you hit the target with an ability, you're also going to hit for a lot more damage. However, playing with 2 1-hand weapons is definitely not bad. If you would like to try this out yourself, you should be using this talent tree. What I like a lot about using 2 1-hand weapons is that I feel like I have way more procs, and it also just feels a bit more fun to play, but this is of course my preference. For those of you wondering about the glyphs I like to use, then no matter if I'm using a 2-hand weapon or 2 1-hand weapons, then these are the 9s that I prefer to get. In a moment I'll show you a bit of leveling gameplay, but first I would also like to highlight this amazing Cataclysm leveling guide. You'll get to level 85 super quickly, as it has been developed by the best speed levelers in World of Warcraft, and you can even use this in the pre-patch as well. You just follow the different steps, and there will even be text explaining what you will have to do. In the description there will be a link you can follow, and this will redirect you to the page where you can download the free version, but also purchase the full version that will work all the way up to max level. But before you purchase the full version, make sure to apply the discount code GuideMMO to get a small discount and to help me as a content creator. So like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, Blood is amazing for leveling. Not only do you have a high amount of DPS, but your survivability is also insane. Like you can see right here, I'm killing elites either at my level or 1 level below. And the insane thing is that this character is fully green geared, so it's not like I have ICC gear or anything else. The fact that I'm capable of killing 4 or 5 elites at the same time would also allow me to kill 10 non-elites at the same time. So when you're questing in the open world, you can simply pull so many creatures and complete a quest in next to no time. This is why I always level up as Blood, and if I would like to do a dungeon, then I can sign up for a dungeon as a tank and I will get an instant queue. On top of this, when you get to low health, you have so many different things you can activate to instantly restore a lot of health. So it's simply just so insane for leveling. So why should you level up as Unholy? Well, if you like to quest in the open world and kill targets super quickly, then this is the specialization. You can either deal damage with your pet, range attacks, for example doing a high amount of damage with your death coil, and in melee you will also do pretty decent damage single target wise, with damage over time abilities and also just single target spells. Usually I never level up as Unholy. This is mainly because I don't like the gameplay and I feel like leveling wise it's not that quick. So if I really had to play as a DPS, I would do this as Frost and with 2 1-hand weapons. You get procs all the time and you're doing insane damage. It's way more fun to play, and of course this is my opinion. But like you can see right here, you're having big numbers all the time and you're doing insane amount of damage. What I usually do myself is to level up as Blood to level 80, and by then I will swap in between Frost and Blood depending if I'm leveling in the open world or if I would like to do a dungeon as a tank. The Death Knight gets amazing changes in Cataclysm, for example raise ally, a combat rest you can use every 10 minutes to raise an ally back to life with 20% health and mana. This makes this class so much more useful either in dungeons or raids in case someone ends up dying or when you're progressing. You should also be looking forward to this new level 85 ability. When you activate it, there's going to be a 8 seconds timer on your target, and if that target then casts a spell that costs mana, you'll be gaining the same spell in your action bar. You can sadly only use it once, and then it has a 1 minute cooldown, but the insane thing is that the spell will also be instant. Necrotic Strike does a bit of weapon damage, but what you're mainly looking into is going to be to apply a debuff that also absorbs a bit of healing. So as you can see right here, I apply Necrotic Strike, and the next time the Shaman heals, it heals for next to nothing. Runic Empowerment is a new passive you gain. Every time you deal damage with Death Coil, Frost Strike or Rune Strike, there's a 45% chance that you will activate a random fully depleted rune. With a 45% chance, it honestly happens quite often, but I also noticed if I missed any attacks, it won't really proc. Finally, we get the possibility to increase our duration of Blood Plague, Frost Fever and Change the Fires by 6 seconds with this new attack. You will of course not be able to continue spamming it and then building up a disease that lasts for 2 minutes, so it seems like the maximum amount of time we can increase it to is going to be the original duration. I have some good news though. We get Outbreak that allow us to instantly apply Blood Plague and Frost Fever to an enemy target. It only has a 30 seconds cooldown, so either when leveling up or if you're doing dungeons or raids, it's going to be amazing to use this, followed by Pestilence to spread your diseases to all targets. So what stats should you prioritize going for? As Blood, it's important that you get a lot of stamina to increase your health pool. If you don't have a lot of health, you could potentially also end up getting one shot by a boss. Mastery is super insane, as every time you're using Death Strike to heal yourself and deal damage, you will also place an absorption shield. So more mastery equals a better shield, and therefore this is going to be such an important stat to go for. You will of course also need to increase your avoidance by going for dodge and parry, but mainly most of my gems will be put into mastery and also a bit of stamina. What about Unholy? Your main stat is going to be strength, as it will boost the damage done by everything, and of course also your auto attacks. And talking about auto attacks and your spells and abilities, well, you need 8% hit to make sure you're also hitting the target without missing too much, else you're going to lose a lot of DPS. Haste is so important as it allows you to regen runes faster. You're also going to be able to do your auto attacks even quicker. Therefore, I prioritize getting this over crit and mastery. So what about Frost? You have two different choices: dual wield, where you would like to go for strength, 8% hit, and 26 expertise. Expertise is going to be important, as you could potentially end up losing way too many attacks, or well missing, and therefore also spending your runes on doing next to no damage. Once you have taken care of hit and expertise, you could start building up more haste to increase your rune regeneration, but also to do your auto attacks even quicker, simply to get procs and do more damage. When I play with a two-hand weapon, I like to go for mastery rating over haste rating. This is because mastery will increase the frost damage I do, and as I'm using a two-hand weapon, I won't be doing melee attacks as frequently and not have a high chance of proccing Killing Machine, which happens a lot more often when you're using two one-hand weapons and also having more haste. So I hope you enjoyed this Cataclysm Death Knight guide. If you would like to see more class guides, make sure to check out the channel. Soon I'll also publish a lot more useful videos for Cataclysm, so make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell to get notified when I post these.